Solo professionals and small business owners are done treating Claude like a chatbot. They're wiring it straight into operations, expense tracking, legal intake, drafting, using something called a prompt contract instead of loose prompting, and a memory file that gets smarter every single session. Today, we're breaking down the 4-part contract that turns Claude from a search engine into an actual employee, plus the one habit that's quietly saving builders hours a week. Let's get into the weeds on this.
So picture this, a litigation lawyer down in Chile, right? She used to spend like 45 minutes a day just on her legal intake process. And recently, she got that down to exactly 5 minutes.
Wow, that is a massive drop.
Yeah, and the crazy part is she didn't buy some massive enterprise software, and she didn't write a single line of code to do it.
Right, because she built what we're looking at today. It's an internal multi-agent operating layer using Claude. Looking at our sources for this deep dive, like the recent tech newsletters and agent building tutorials, there is just this massive shift happening for non-technical solo professionals.
Yeah, it's definitely not just using AI to write polite emails anymore.
Exactly. I mean, they are using it to automate entire back office workflows, which is the whole point of our deep dive today. Zero hype, just the actual, practical mechanics of how small business owners are building these systems.
Right. So let's go back to that Chilean lawyer. When a new lawsuit comes in, her setup automatically reads the suit, grabs the first court order, and pulls out all the necessary details.
And it handles the hardest part, right? The deadlines.
Yes. It calculates deadlines around complex Chilean holidays, does the math, writes a summary straight into her Notion database, and then actually pings her if any details are missing.
That is so wild. And another great example from the sources is this reader-built subscription auditor.
Oh yeah, I saw that one in the notes.
Right. So instead of manually checking expenses, the user set up this agent to read weekly receipt emails every Monday. It updates a ledger, flags any duplicate charges, and alerts the owner if a price went up.
It's like we're upgrading from treating AI as this, smart encyclopedia that you just query every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. Just asking it random facts.
Right. And now it's like hiring a dedicated back office staff. You're setting up these mini employees, and each one has a very specific, clearly defined desk job.
Right. But just like a human employee, if you give them vague instructions, they will completely mess it up.
Naturally.
So that requires a shift from writing basic prompts to writing what the sources call prompt contracts. A standard prompt is basically a wish, but a contract is a strict brief with 4 mandatory parts.
Okay, break those down for me.
So you got goal, constraints, format, and failure.
Okay, I understand the first 3. I mean, what you want, what it can't do, and the shape of the output. But wait, why is failure mandatory?
Well, it comes down to how these models work mechanically. Like if a receipt is totally unreadable and you haven't defined a failure protocol, the AI's generative nature means it'll often just guess a number.
Oh, right, because it just wants to complete the task you gave it.
Exactly. So the failure clause forces it to stop and actually ask you for help. And that's what prevents hallucinations.
Okay, I get the value of the rigor there. But I mean, writing a massive legalistic contract for every single mundane task, doesn't that completely defeat the time-saving purpose of using AI in the first place?
Well, it would, but using platforms like Claude Managed Agents means you only do this setup once.
Just once?
Yeah, you define the agent and assign it specific integrations using a credential vault. Think of the vault like giving an employee a key card. It opens the filing cabinet, but definitely not the front door.
Okay, so it can read your inbox or update Notion, but the vault mechanically stops it from, accessing your passwords.
Right, or deleting your databases.
Yeah.
You set that up, and you have a reusable session.
But business changes constantly, right?
Yeah.
Like, what happens when my intake workflow shifts next week? Do I really have to rewrite the entire contract from scratch?
Nope. You just pair the agent with a memory file. It's usually something like a claude.md file right in its workspace.
Okay, so how does that work?
It basically acts as the agent's scar tissue. If it makes a mistake, or if your process changes, you just add a simple rule to that text file.
Oh, so it just checks that file.
Exactly. The agent automatically reads that file at the start of every future session. It learns and adapts, and you never have to touch the original contract again.
Wait, okay. If this agent is reading memory files, learning on its own, and using that key card to access my Notion and email, what stops it from automatically sending a legally binding email or just paying a fraudulent invoice?
That is the big question.
Yeah.
And there is a strong consensus across all the source material here. A human in the loop is strictly mandatory.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, these agents are engineered solely to prep the work. They do the intake, they draft the responses, they update the ledger. But any irreversible action, like anything that actually leaves the building or moves real money, that remains firmly under human approval.
Right, so the AI is the preparer, and you are the approver.
Exactly. The workflow literally pauses until you hit the send button.
That makes so much sense. The immediate value here really isn't about trying to code and ship some shiny new tech product. It's about running your existing business operations through named AI agents.
It fundamentally shifts how you spend your day.
Right.
You are no longer the one doing all the repetitive paperwork.
Right. You're just the one reviewing the completed paperwork, which is huge for solo professionals out there.
It really is.
Which leaves you with this to mull over today. If you successfully offload 80% of your administrative friction to an internal AI operating layer, and you finally clear your desk, what fundamentally human skill will become the true bottleneck for your business's growth?
So if you're running a solo shop or a small team, the takeaway isn't use AI more. It's write the contract, keep the memory file, and document your process before you automate it. Like this if it landed, comment which automation you're trying first, and subscribe so tomorrow's drop doesn't slip past you. Catch you next time.